Look at you. So small, so breakable.
I don't want trouble.
Trouble. I'm the ocean. You're a pebble. I could drown you in a blink.
Then why don't you?
Because watching you squirm is sweeter.
One day I'll stop squirming.
We'll see.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever been bullied? Or did you ever bully someone when you were younger and you still feel guilty about it? Either way, stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn the real psychology behind bullying, the different types of bullies you'll run into, and how to deal with them without making the situation worse. And trust me, most people have no idea how this actually works. Most people think bullies act tough because they're confident. They're not. Psychology shows that most bullying comes from insecurity, fear of losing status, or feeling powerless somewhere else in life. In other words, bullies feel smaller than they act. A lot of them aren't trying to hurt someone for the sake of it. They're trying to protect an identity that feels threatened. And their brain has learned one pattern. If I push you down, I don't have to face what I'm scared of in myself. That's the real engine behind most bullying. Not confidence, panic disguised as power. Why do bullies choose their targets? Here's the part most people get wrong. Targets are rarely chosen because they're weak. They're chosen because they're different in a way the bully notices. They're quieter, they're kinder, they don't fight back. They stand out socially, culturally, or emotionally. Bullies don't look for the weakest person. They look for the person least likely to retaliate. There are different types of bullies, so let's break this down in a way that actually helps you spot them. First, you've got the status protector, the person who's terrified of looking weak, so they act dominant before anyone else can challenge them. Then there's the copier, the one who grows up around shouting, aggression, or mockery, and thinks that's just how you talk to people. You also have the displaced fighter, the person who feels powerless at home, in school, or at work, and releases that frustration on someone safer, someone who won't hit back. And a big one, the envy bully. They target confident people, talented people, or anyone who stands out, not because they hate them, but because they hate the feeling of comparison. Most bullying is basically, I don't like how you make me feel about myself, so I'll try to make you feel smaller. It's also really important to mention, bullying doesn't always look the same. Sometimes it's physical, pushing, grabbing, or using size and strength to intimidate. But a lot of bullying is emotional. It's the comments, the whispers, the constant little jabs that slowly wear someone down. Emotional bullying can be even harder to spot because there's no bruise you can point to. But the impact is real. And then there's cyberbullying. Online, people feel braver because they're hiding behind a screen. Trolls comment things they would never say in person, and it can feel impossible to escape because it follows you everywhere. If you're dealing with online bullying, one of the best things you can do is remove their access to you. Block them, mute them, turn off notifications. Most trolls want a reaction. Taking that away is the fastest way to make them disappear. And remember, if you're ever overwhelmed, talk to someone you trust. Screens make problems feel bigger than they are, but the moment you bring another person in, the whole situation becomes easier to handle. Now let's talk about you. How do you actually handle this? First, remember, their behaviour isn't about you. When you take it personally, you give them power they didn't earn. Second, don't feed the reaction they want. Bullies look for emotional payoffs, fear, embarrassment, anger. If you stay calm or uninterested, you interrupt the reward loop their brain is expecting. Third, use short, neutral boundaries. Not aggressive, not emotional, just firm. Something like, that's enough, or stop, or I'm not engaging with that. Short lines like that work because they don't escalate the situation. And remember this part, if the behaviour continues, getting help isn't weakness, it's strategy. Teachers, managers, parents, and professionals exist because these situations aren't meant to be handled alone. You're not running away. You're doing the smart thing. Here's the piece most people never realize. Bullies aren't strong. They're overloaded, insecure, or repeating behavior they learned from someone else. Understanding this doesn't excuse anything, but it gives you clarity. It gives you control of your own reaction. And once you see the psychology behind bullying, it's a lot easier to protect yourself. without carrying their behaviour around like it means something about you. Because it doesn't.